Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome to my Crystal 101 series. In today's session, we're going to explore the connection between crystals and working with your chakra system. Your chakra system. These are 7 energy vortexes that you have within yourself. These are the primary ones. We have many, many more that build up us entirely. And, well, we all love crystal pieces, right? They're shiny, they're pretty. Having crystals that correspond and work with your chakras will help you to strengthen and heal and get those chakras going and working for you. Like I said, we have 7 primary chakras. It starts off with the root, which is the grounded stability, that security. The sacral, the creative, sensual, emotional energy hub, if you will. The sacral is located in your pelvic region. For women, it's right where your womb is. Your solar plexus, this is your powerhouse. This is your willpower, your drive. It's in your stomach area. Going on to the heart, of course, this is located in your heart center. This is your emotions, your compassion, your harmony. Now, the difference between the emotions of the sacral and the emotions of the heart, the sacral is more the flow of emotions, whereas the heart is where we kind of store those emotions. Your throat, of course, that's your communication, self-expression, located, not surprisingly, at your throat. Your third eye, which is in your forehead. Your command center, your perception center. Connected into your clairs, connected into your intuition. Your crown, which is just above your head. Enlightenment, consciousness, wisdom. Now, eons ago, I did create some teachings and meditations for each of the chakras. I will put a link below to the playlist to help you connect in and learn more about the chakras and work with them in different ways. So let's start back at the root. This is the symbol. There is an East Indian word that I cannot pronounce. I'm not going to slaughter it, so I'm going to keep it as the root chakra. So, the root chakra. Now, this is at the tip of your pelvis. For women, it's right where we pee. For men, it's kind of where the testicles are. Now, when you're working with the root chakra, it can be any red or black crystal. Red crystals, well, anything that says red, jasper, aventurine, agate, you bet. Any of the fire pieces, fire quartz, fire agate, absolutely. Garnet's included in there, ruby's included in there. Do I use ruby? No, it's expensive. Do I have garnet? Yes, because it's not as expensive. Cost is important too, guys. When you're looking at crystals, you want to make sure that they're manageable, not only for using them, but for cost. Because if you can't afford them, it becomes a barrier. Now, there are black crystals. Any black crystal will work. Any of them that say black, so tourmaline, onyx, obsidian, they will all work. Hematite, labradorite, you bet. Smoky quartz, which is kind of more of a gray, is an amazing crystal to work with. Some people, especially children, find the black crystals are really hard and overwhelming for them. Smoky quartz is a great alternative, or any of the red crystals. Now, we also have a small selection of red and black crystals, so it's a 2-for-1. Tiger iron is one of my favorites. Depending on where it comes in, because it is a combination of hematite, red jasper, and tiger eye, will depend on the color. I have some that are very red. I have some that are very almost brown black. But the tiger iron is amazing. You can get what's called hematite jasper. It kind of looks like the tiger iron, however, it's missing the tiger eye piece. And then there's also red rhodonite. The rhodonite itself is usually pink and black, but you can get a very dark pink, red color, hence the red rhodonite. Going on to the sacral. This is the symbol. The color, of course, is orange. So any orange crystal will work. This helps with the creativity, the sensuality, and very much that emotional, fluid aspect. The sacral itself it's connected into water. That's why you're getting the flow from. Now, I should say the sacral is very much, due to the sensuality, a big proponent and component for women's sexuality. There is an element of the root chakra, however, it's predominantly held in the sacral. Men, however, it's a combination between the sacral and very much that root chakra. Going in, of course, any of the orange crystals. Carnelian, anything that says orange, so orange jasper, orange calcite, you bet. Peach moonstone. My lady friends, if you're having problems with your menstrual cycle, peach moonstone is a game changer because it not only works with the sacral aspect, the moonstone itself, it connects into the moon, which brings in that cycle. And moonstone is known for working with menstruation problems and other cycle issues. Of course, you do have tiger eye, and you will see tiger's eye in the next one. There are crystals that will go forward and work in multiple chakras. The fire opal, for example, was in with the root chakra and will also work with the sacral. So it just depends, honestly, intention, what you're wanting to work on, and what you have. That's very important. Moving on, we do have the solar plexus, your powerhouse, which is connected into yellow crystals. And the nice thing is with the chakra, guys, is that it's not just, oh, you have to get this one crystal. It's a vast amount. These are only the ones that I have worked with, or I know other healers and light workers have worked with. If you know of another one, use it because it's going to be important and impactful for you. And again, it goes down to what you have. Citrine is the big one for me because it is that powerhouse. It is that go energy. Again, like I said, the tiger's eye is here. Pyrite, which is fool's gold, fantastic. Picture jasper, it's kind of in the beige hue. It's very pretty. Yellow jade, anything yellow, right? Yellow jasper, yellow jade. Lemon quartz. I have a friend who's a light worker who uses a lot of lemon quartz. I don't have one because I use citrine. And you don't need a vast number of these guys. Honestly, I would get one for each of them. Going on to the heart. Now, of course, the heart is the emotions, the compassion, the harmony. This is any pink or green crystal. Most people, when they think about working with the heart, they think of rose quartz. It's it's easy to find. Again, you can go in anything with pink calcite. There's something called pink amethyst, pink spinel, of course. Rhodonite, which was seen, we had a red rhodonite with the root chakra. This is the pink one with pink and black. And when you have these dual crystals like this with the pink and black, not only will it hit your heart chakra, but it will also tap into your root chakra, even though it has that pink hue. And from a healing aspect, my friends, when you're working with the heart, you do want to work with the root because you're working with that pesky thing called emotions. And it's usually the trauma and the hurt that's really hard to work through and clogs up our heart chakra. Of course, any green crystal can be added into this. Malachite is a healing crystal. It's amazing. Any green piece, green jade, green calcite, aventurine, absolutely. Moss agate, peridot, fantastic. There are a few pink and green crystals. Unakite is amazing. It's the one I use when I'm looking at a pink-green combination due to the cost efficiency. Watermelon tourmaline is gorgeous, but stupid expensive and hard to find. So Unakite will work as well, or any, you can mix and match. Yes, I know I just said you can have one per chakra. It's fantastic. However, you could use rose quartz and malachite or green aventurine, because you will find that your collection grows quite quickly, especially with some of the tips I'm going to give you as we go forward. Onto the throat chakra. This is the chakra that gets hit the hardest when you're looking at Mercury going into retrograde. Why? It's the communication center. So any blue crystal, there's so many blue crystals. Lapis lazuli is the common one. Sodalite, aquamarine, anything that says blue. Blue aventurine, you can get blue calcite, you can get blue quartz. Absolutely. Blue quartz, again, it's not as well known and harder to find. Gentler crystals to work with your throat chakra. Blue lace agate. Angelite. Now, angelite can be blue or purple, so it just depends. Your third eye. This is your command and perception center, your thinking center. Now, the chakra's color is indigo, which is a blue-purple color. So you can use any blue or purple crystal. So again, you're going to see a lot of the same that you just saw with the throat chakra. Lapis lazuli, sodalite, angelite. Angelite doesn't usually come in on an indigo. Usually it's kind of a light purpley, almost violet color, and that's okay. Kainite, celestite, any blue crystal. You can get the purple crystals. Amethyst is usually a very common one with your third eye because it calms it down. It's a calming, healing crystal. We carry a lot of trauma in our third eye and our heart chakra. So amethyst is a great choice. It's also very easy to find, cheap and cheerful, usable to work with the third eye, especially around all the trauma. We shut down a good chunk of our third eye. A lot of our perception, our clairs, due to fear. So there's your trauma. Now, I know it's not technically a purple, but because of the trauma, and it does have an iridescent shimmer of purple, labradorite. Amazing. Of course, you have the rainbow fluorite, olite. It's what you have and what you connect with. That's what's going to be important. The final and seventh chakra, your crown chakra at the top of your head. This comes in on a violet. However, you can use white or purple crystals because violet is, of course, that lighter purple. And other than angelite, there's not a lot of lavender or violet crystals, not that light purple. So again, amethyst, like I said, you're going to get a lot of them that do resonate with a number of chakras. The purple crystal that's unique here is sugarlight. It is incredibly expensive and hard to find. However, it works really well with your crown chakra. It's not really violet, it's a pinky purple color. And of course, with the white crystals, clear quartz, selenite, howlite, moonstone. Desert rose is really cool. It doesn't really look like a crystal, but it falls in the crystal piece. Diamond. Many people who use diamond, it's usually in a wedding ring or band, and absolutely you can use that. Which is a really nice segue into, okay, so you have these chakras, you have these crystals. How do you go about using them? Well, easy, actually. Now, I did say earlier that you need to make sure that this is cost effective. You don't want to break the bank and cause added trauma or challenge for yourself. So I usually recommend a polished crystal. Why? Because if it's going to be close to your skin, you don't want that rough, jagged of a raw crystal being that close to you. Because you can, especially with something like a selenite stick or a selenite piece, it's fibrous and you could really cause some splinters that really are not comfortable. Speaking from experience. So I recommend getting the polished crystals. And I also recommend going in and going to the little buckets of crystals that they're small, they fit in your hand, usually multiple of them, and that are usable. One of the easiest ways is to carry them, putting them in your pocket. My lady friends, absolutely, you can tuck them in your bra. You can get very flat, very small crystals. And if you're tucking them in there, ladies, please make sure they are polished. You do not want anything rough going there. You can tuck them in there. You can also wear them as jewelry, pendants, bracelets, rings. That's why I said that diamond piece can come in. It's making sure that they're in a format that is going to be usable for you. These formats are formats that you would use external. So if you were going out somewhere, you keep these ones on your person. You can put them places. So you can meditate with them when you're holding them, or they're in your room somewhere. You can put them by or under your bed. You can make crystal grids. So getting the symbols of the chakras and putting them there. It can be very hard to put the crystals themselves on each chakra point because you have to lay down for that and be able to start to place them on yourself without toppling other crystals. You can put them beside you. The grid makes it easier to intentionally work on the different chakra points with those crystals. These crystals that you're looking at, say putting beside you on a crystal grid or somewhere that isn't touching your body, can be a raw crystal. And below here, you can see this kind of circular crystal that's polished. This square one and this bumpy one, they're raw. The square one is a raw cut, and then the bumpy one here, it's the geode. Crystal grids, you can do a mix and match of the polished or the raw. Just note, if you're going to put a crystal grid or you're going to put crystals around your bed or under your bed, please make sure that if you have children and or pets, that they can't get to them. Because I can tell you, they will try and walk away with them. Kids, they see the shiny, the pretty, oh, I'm taking that. Kids of all ages do that, by the way. Pets, cats like to make them roll, dogs like to move them on you. So make sure that you have it safe, because some crystals can be easily swallowed by small children or pets, which is not good for them. And some crystals, when they become wet, become toxic. So again, not the greatest thing for people putting them in their mouths. So just make sure that you have a safe way of working with them. And yes, guys, you can put crystals in your pillowcase. Again, I would make sure that they are polished if you're going to do that. I usually suggest to people, if you're going to have crystals in your pillowcase or in your bed, that you use a little mesh bag to keep them from rolling all over the place and getting lost or getting stuck somewhere. You can also put the crystals between your mattresses, so that it's another way to keep them safe from little hands and little noses and mouths. The important piece is that you use your crystals. This is a picture of someone using a clear quartz near their third eye. In our third eye, I had said that it's more the blue purple crystal. All the crystals that I've just mentioned correlate and resonate with the color and vibration of the chakra. You can use other crystals to do specific work. This woman in this picture is holding a clear quartz. Clear quartz is a master healer. So you can combine, say, the amethyst with a clear quartz and create something that is going to be meaningful and needed for you. Have fun with the crystals. Make sure that you are using them rather than just hoarding them, because they're there as a tool. I would also recommend that you make sure that you clear your crystals, especially if you've done a specific piece of work. So if you've meditated with it, you've had it in your pocket and had a hard day, make sure you clear them so that the crystal is going to be working well for you the next time you use it or need it. The easiest way, I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I put it in the moonlight, I put it in the sunlight. Depending on where you are in the world, you may be too far away and it could take quite a while to do. It's not the greatest tool to work with when it comes to clearing crystals. You want to make sure that you're using a tool that's going to be useful. Additionally, as I am far from the equator and it is Canada, it can go pretty hot to pretty cold. The cold is not the greatest because you have your crystal sitting, say, on the windowsill. And this has happened to many of my friends and clients where they've put their crystals on the windowsill to clear them and they break. Because there are natural break points within the crystal, it's a rock. So then you have a broken crystal. So I don't really recommend putting your crystals out for the elements. What I do recommend is something that we all have, and that's salt. It doesn't matter what kind. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive or limited edition salt. This can be the salt from the dollar store. It's a crystal itself. So you put some salt in a bowl that will fit your crystal. You put the crystal in the bowl and you swirl the salt around the crystal. You can do this for jewelry. You can do it for free standing crystals. It's an easy way to ensure that your crystal does not hold on to the gunk and the yuck. Trick being, once you're done clearing your crystals, and yes, you can use more than one crystal in a bowl of salt, what you want to do is dump the salt into a bag and take it out of your home. You don't need negatively charged salt sitting in your garbage, which is usually plastic or metal, that will start to absorb that negativity. Do yourself a favor, walk it out of your house and throw it out in a public venue so that it is not going to bring challenge to other people. The more that you use your crystals, the higher your comfort level playing with and using your crystals in a different way. And that's an important part. This is part of what I want to do, is teach you guys that yes, there are elements that each crystal have, but you can use them. And you're going to start to see them come up to work with different aspects for you. Now, I will be continuing this Crystal 101, and I'm going to be diving in to particular aspects. So dealing with anxiety, health-related issues. If you have a topic that you really want me to start to explore and give you honest opinion on what crystals will work for you, let me know below. I have a list, but I can guarantee you it's probably not enough. You guys are going to have lots of questions. And that's what I want to do, is answer those questions. I do want to thank you guys for joining me, and reigniting this exploration into the Crystal 101 series. I hope you've found this helpful. It is very much that starting point to diving in to the different crystals and how you can use them. And like in all my other 101 sessions, my friends, my Patreon community is going to get cheat sheets on the different crystals, connecting in to these different aspects. If you're looking for a supportive community that adds in a lot of those extra pieces that you need for your growth and development, come check out my community. I have put a link below so you can come see us. And of course, if you haven't done so, my friends, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss any further content that I post. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really encourages me to continue with the teachings, the tools, and the readings. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in reigniting my Crystal 101 series and connecting in to these beautiful tools of ours. Until tomorrow, my friends.